The very long-standing console wars between PlayStation and Xbox is a tale as old as time. But has a recent development exposed the Xbox haters in the world? Oh, this one's gonna be good, so let's break that all down. Up next. What's going on, guys? It's Kalo, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and welcome to the Level Up. The console wars and console exclusivity are a thing that have been at the center of most gaming discourse online. And it feels like right now, those talks are at a fever pitch. I've said it before and I'll say it again, competition breeds excellence. And this really forces developers out there to kind of not get complacent and churn out the same slop year over year. But upon living online here for what is a few years now, I come across a rather toxic environment, especially when we get in the trenches about talking about PlayStation versus Xbox. Now, just from my viewpoint, aside from a fair amount of self-inflicted wounds over the years, it's always felt as if Xbox is subject to the most hate. Again, I'm not justifying their bad choices, and let's be honest, they've made a lot of bad choices. I'm looking at you, Xbox One. But I've been critical on them a lot in the past. But it's always seemed like no matter what they do, if they release great games, if they release a good console, simply put, people just hate Xbox. Who am I kidding? I know this is the internet. We don't like their games. We're never going to get an Xbox. Copium, ponies, fanboys. Those are all the terms I've heard over the years. Everyone's kind of entitled to their own opinions, and that's exactly why I think the internet is great. Sometimes. Not all the time. Heck, I made this channel with this idea in mind, that we can all kind of come here and have this dialogue without acting like spoiled children, and talk about the industry we all know and love, and that's gaming. And I made this channel to talk about video game news, and it's safe to say, this headline and this subject matter for today's video, some people ain't gonna like it, but I'm feeling frisky. So we all know by now there are a lot of polarizing opinions online centered around Xbox going multi-platform and how they've handled their games over the years. Of course, with every major choice comes the fallout of said choice. And Xbox right now is currently in the wake of putting their games on PlayStation devices. For years, Xbox games were trashed. And I must say, there are games in the mix that do deserve the heat, but for games like Forza Horizon 5 and Sea of Thieves and so on, well, no matter how good they actually are, objectively are, people just love to hate them. I bring up those two games specifically because Sea of Thieves is already on a PlayStation platform, and it's been finding new life on there. And a title like Forza Horizon 5 will be going to the PlayStation Store in a few weeks' time. Now, keeping what I said earlier in mind, the irony is so strong today, as we now kind of have a ballpark figure in regards to those heavily hated Xbox games that were once deemed trash and they weren't good. So this bit of news was spotted by The Gamer. This is where it can be seen here, titles like Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, along with Forza Horizon 5, sit atop the most pre-ordered games list on the PlayStation Store. Might I add, they are above PlayStation exclusives like Death Stranding 2 on the beach. But hey, I know nothing. And to say I'm grasping at straws here, we're gonna pull that image up again. Take a closer look, or lean into the screen if you have to. But I see both versions of the game being the premium and standard editions for Indiana Jones and Forza Horizon on the top of the list. I just find this story to be funny in retrospect, especially after decades of hate, and this is why I've always said there is no negative to Xbox putting their games on PlayStation devices. More people will be able to play great games and experience some awesome shit. And at the end of the day, I think that's what gaming is all about, and we've lost that meaning over recent years. I honestly hope a game like Halo gets this treatment and the recognition it so desperately deserves too. Gaming is going in a different direction as we head into the years ahead, and people need to understand what was once the standard is now just a plain wrong way to think. I said it once, I said it again, I'll say it 1,000 times by now. Games are getting expensive to make. You need to make money off these things if you're gonna put money into them. So putting them on multiple platforms in front of as many gamers as you possibly can to give you said money, well, that's the way going forward. But with all that being said, I'm gonna pass it off to you guys. What do you think about all this? But that about does it here. I've been K-Lo, I gave you the lowdown on all things gaming, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content, drop a like on the video, and this has been the Level Up.